Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Hey, it's SpontaneousChuck, everyone. Another episode. This is going to be the back-to-school episode because tomorrow in the county here that I live in, school starts, and all I can say is, ha! Because I don't have to go to school anymore. And I'm so happy for that. I mean, okay. Anyway, that was Freddie. Once again, he likes to come up on screen. Anyway, it's my back to school special, and with that, as I do every single year, one thing that I love to do is kind of preach a little bit about how important school is. Because when I went to school, listen, I didn't take it very seriously, especially in high school. And then when I went to college, well, I didn't really take it serious then either. Even though this is the only time I get to use this as a prop, by the way. Mom and Dad would be proud because they paid for it. This is my degree from Fairmont State College. It wasn't a university then. It was just a college. But it's actually, I double majored actually in economics and in management. And I'm a mailman. And there's a story behind that, too. And I'll tell you that. We'll just get right into that. Anyway, the importance of school. Kids, listen to me. It's very important to pay attention in school. You might not think so now because you're screwing off, and believe me, I've been there, too, When I went to college, even, which was the dumbest thing I ever did, not going to college, but what I did during college, because even though I graduated, I had my degree, I didn't really pay too much attention too much. It was more of a social gathering for me, and that's just, I loved it. But I was working 3 gigs, man. I was working on the radio. I was DJing bars. I was DJing weddings. Then I was going to school the next morning, and it was a total nightmare. So the moral of the story is when you go to school, listen seriously, and I'm telling you this, when you go to school, pay attention. Because after 4 years, you can get yourself a degree, you can get yourself a fantastic job, and right now I'm just the luckiest guy on the planet because even though I'm not using my degree, and I'll get to that story here in a minute, you know what? It just worked out. And for a lot of people, it really doesn't work out. But for me, whoo, buddy, it sure did. And I'm happy for that because now I can buy my gadgets like this great remote control that controls everything in the house. That is just kick ass. The gadgets, you know what? Lots of beer, buddy. Boy, I tell you what, thanks Pam and Rob for that. I still have to come to the house and get the other one, by the way. And you can buy cars, and it just makes life so much easier when you don't have to worry about it. And you know what? And that is the main reason why you want to pay attention in school. Get yourself a nice degree, and get yourself a nice job. And then once you graduate, life will be so much easier then. Because right now the economy kind of sucks. It really does. And it's not going to get any better, believe me. I mean, with all this debt that the government's running up now, pretty soon it's just all going to break down. And there's just a lot of people going to get burned. And you want to make sure you have a good job, or you're going to be left behind. And you know what? There's not going to be anything anybody can do about it. And it's going to really suck if you're going to be, But anyway, I'm not going to preach about that. But anyway, let me tell you about this. I went to college, right? I've always wanted to be in economics. Basically, from the time I was a little lad, that my father was kind of grooming me to be a stockbroker. And so I went to college, got my economics degree with the sole intention of moving back to New York City, even though I wasn't there, but the Rogans, how they came to West Virginia and all that. We've been through that story. I was going to go back to New York, become a stockbroker, make billions of dollars, right? Well, that was my intention. But then once I graduated, I had a job offer. At that time, I was working at Grade 98, one of the greatest places I ever worked in my life, and that's no joke. Granted, we don't make very much cheese, but you know what? It was, as far as a job, satisfying job goes, it was just one of the greatest jobs on the planet. It was just absolutely a fun job to have. So anyway, graduated college. I was working in radio. I had this job offer from New York to actually go and be a stockbroker. So I went to Mom and Dad and I said, listen, we got this. I showed them everything, and Dad said, listen, don't go to New York City. Don't go to New York. I was like, what? It's like I've been grooming. You groomed me for my entire life to do this. Well, you don't go to New York City. You don't want to go to New York City. And not because of the city. I think it was because he was going to, even though he wouldn't admit it, and he probably still wouldn't admit it to this day, he just didn't want his little boy to leave. So I stayed in radio, kept doing like 1,500 different jobs to survive, and eventually one day the post office called. And you know what, the people that say that, because Dad was working at the post office then, and for the people that say that family doesn't have anything to do with getting hired, it's true. Let me cross my fingers when I say that. If you have connections in the post office, it doesn't matter because it doesn't do anything for you. I swear to goodness it doesn't. I did not get anywhere in the post office because of my connections, and that's true. So anyway, once again, conjunction, junction, what's your function? You take your new book bags, you take your new smelling shoes, you take your new clothes, your friendship bracelets and buttons, glamour, you know, and then you go to college, you graduate, you get a good job so you can buy yourself a Freddy and drink a lot of beer, wondering what the hell all went wrong. All right. But anyway, hey, you guys have a great year in school. I really, you know, seriously, it really is. Pay attention. Don't do something stupid. Graduate, get your degree, go on to bigger and better things. And you know what? You'll thank me later in the end. And then when I'm 60 years old and I need Social Security, you'll be, you know, being able to pay for it because there's not really very many people right now working hard enough to pay for it. I don't want to say working hard enough. There aren't that many good jobs in America left to pay for the bills that are coming. I'll say it that way because everybody who has a job works hard in it. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go back and play my Xbox because that's what 40-year-olds do. You know, it's true. You know, when I'm almost 40 years old and I play on Facebook and I play Xbox and I drive fast and I drink beer and I play on iPads and I cuss a lot and I eat everything I'm not supposed to, you know why? You know why? Because I can. And that's the only reason, because I'm just digging it, buddy. I'm living it. And I really want to thank you guys for watching. That's the important thing, too. LMBO shirts, they're on their way thanks to Bill Leesburg. He designed the new Team Spontaneous logo, which is just kick-ass. Just kick-ass. It's really great, Bill. I appreciate it, bro. But all that's for later episodes when we get that taken care of, finalized. But anyway, until next time, this has been the after-school special, before-school special. We'll say it that way. I get choked up every time I talk about school because I miss that smell when you first go into school and you're like, and you're nervous because you're leaving your parents again, especially when you're young, and you smell in school and you got your new shoes on, and you're like, wow, it's school time. This really stinks. I can't go ride bikes until 4 o'clock. Anyway, Spontaneous Chuck, I'm out, babies. Love you, mean it. Peace out.